Hi there, guys. Vinny's back again. Hey, good to meet you. I've got a great friend of mine with me, Ava Benesocky, and you're going to love her. You're going to love her. You know, the key thing is that we try to bring you the best of the best in multifamily, in syndication, in capital raising, you name it, and I hope you're liking all this content on the channel. Sometimes you see me and hear me 3 times a week now. I hope you don't get fed up, but please do share, like, give us 5-star reviews on iTunes, and let us know if you are one of the very top, podcaster or personality that I should interview you. Go ahead and reach out to my team. John Rusin or Ethan or Ruthie or Ralph or I mean, so many great people in my team. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk a great show today. I hope you're ready. We might even go 2 parts or 3 parts because I know many times people don't have time to go through the whole interview. So we might even split it in 3 because we're going to have fun with Ava, and let's see here. We're going to talk about lots of discussion topics, as you can see. Go towards the end. Please listen to all the 3 parts. We're going to talk about starting a real estate private equity firm. Ava is the CEO of that firm, and she started from scratch, guys. You're going to love to find out what she went through and everything. We're going to dig deeper and deeper into it from the ground up, cultivating and nurturing relationships with investors. Oh my gosh, who does not want to have more investors? So if you're thinking and you are having a hard time getting investors, we're going to dig into it. What psychology and how she is able to get millions of dollars she's able to raise now. So, and also, raising capital big time, money raising, partnering also with the Canadian investors to acquire US multifamily assets. And then the book also she wrote, we're going to talk about that. She co-authored From Ordinary to Extraordinary. I love the title. I just totally love that. Oh, there it is. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to talk about all that. And to extraordinary success stories from women investing in real estate. I'm so happy to have Ava with me. Ava, can I introduce you formally now?
Please, I would love that, Vinny. Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. I'm right here in San Francisco on the Pacific Coast, and Eva is in Vancouver in her office. You could see that. And maybe 2022, we're going to get together, maybe do some
Absolutely.
seminars, do some really exciting things in San Francisco, in Vancouver. We are very, very looking forward to it. And I know as senior assisted living, we have talked about and all. That's something really, really big. So let me tell you a little bit about Ava, guys. You got to see it. Ava, Benesocky is the co-founder and the CEO of CPI Capital, coming from a family of accountants who loves numbers. Ava values hard work and compassion above all, and she became one of the youngest and the award-winning agents of the REMAX, and really was unstoppable thereafter, fearless and ready to write her own story. She moved to Vancouver, and where she built a strong network of real estate investors. She continued to learn and grow with the resilience and the persistently gaining knowledge in the field of real estate investments. Eva saw firsthand why so many people hesitated to become real estate investors. So we're going to dig deeper into those issues. That's right. And so forth. So I know it's very exciting, and I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much, Vinny. I look up to you. You're such a mentor. You're such an incredible person. You have such a great heart. You're always smiling. Every time I talk to you, I just feel such energy within myself. So I just love conversations with you. We chat on the phone here and there, and we just, we really kind of build off of each other, and we really kind of motivate one another. So I really appreciate you having me here today and bringing me on your show.
Thank you. Bless you. Bless you. And we are going into the holiday season and spending time with the family. And It's so wonderful. This time of the year, it's really great to say gratitude to the investors, to the vendors, to team members, to brokers, to everybody. I really love this time of the year to just pay respect. So this is a very appropriate topic we're going to talk about today.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely. And yeah, as you were maybe I'll let you start. You can
No,
start.
you start. I mean, I wanted to ask you, kind of take us on your journey, how you got into, it's so successful now. And, maybe where did you grow up and all, and take us through, and how were you in the junior high and the high? I want to know all that.
Amazing. I love that. So there's kind of two parts of me. Firstly, I'm the CEO of CPI Capital, which is a real estate investment firm based in Vancouver, Canada. And we partner with investors to purchase US multifamily assets. We love the multifamily sector. And I love what you're doing. And I can't wait to learn more about your projects. And we're going to partner. Absolutely. It's going to be incredible because our main mission is to help others, right? So there's so many channels that we can help others. And what's most important is being an expert in what we're doing so that we can guide others and really hold their hand through the process and make it as simplified as possible. But I was in real estate for about a decade. I loved what I did. I worked with so many incredible investors and helping them, try to find single family homes to invest in. And there's a lot of pain points that exist for Canadian investors. The median home price here in the great cities of Canada, Vancouver and Toronto, is 1 to 1.3 million. Okay, so imagine that. And then you got to get the debt. You're usually in negative cash flow. It's very low rental yields here. And then when you look at multifamily, the cap rates are so compressed here, Vinney. 1 to 2% cap rates with the low rental yields. You're going to be in negative cash flow if you purchase multifamily. So a couple years ago, I came across real estate syndication. And I seen the types of returns investors were making in the US, just right across the border. And I said, oh my gosh, isn't this incredible? I was totally fell in love. I fell in love with the concept. Real estate syndication, what I like to call real estate private equity, is concept where investors come together and they all pool together capital and they're able to buy these large apartment communities that they couldn't buy on their own, right? And historically, pensions, hedge funds, the ultra wealthy rich were the ones buying up these beautiful wealth, right? These cash flowing assets, these literally, I call them wealth building machines. But now we can come together and make it all happen together. So I really, when I co-founded CPI Capital, it was really from a problem that I seen existed, and I wanted to come up with a solution to that problem. And when I seen that solution, I put my whole life effort into it. I built my company from the ground up, starting 2 years ago, and really wanted to build this beautiful company that investors can show up and have access to these incredible investment opportunities. But they're 100% passive. And I take care of all that. I take kind of all the hard work away from real estate investing. So I'm really passionate about multifamily. I'm really passionate about educating people how they can build wealth through investing passively into real estate syndications and just by holding their hand through the process.
So wonderful. What a great service, because all these, rich and everybody, they are professionals. They have built their wealth or savings, let's say, and they want that money to grow with inflation at 6%. I heard today, right? I mean, we are losing ground. We are totally losing ground. If the money is stationary, I call, not in velocity, where it's invested to make more money and more money, the 6% is the minus. I mean, 100,000 is going to be less. Buying power it will be worth only $94,000, $100,000. So what is great is what you're doing, investing, and you're figuring out what markets and where to invest and finding the deals which are underwritten is the right word, conservatively, and then you can bring it to your investors. That's wonderful. The one thing I wanted to also mention was that as the investors invest 100,000, they are actually getting a 400,000 position if we do a 75-25% loan, right? So the bank is bringing so many times when you buy stock prices like Google, if somebody wants to buy Google, they have to pay that much money. The bank is not going to give them 75% of the Google share price. They're going to say, okay, how much money you got? And now you can buy Google or Apple or anything like that. One thing I really try to tell my investors is your position of 100,000, actually you are a part of $400,000 real estate equity, because that's what they are buying. Isn't it true?
Isn't it true? And that's the thing. And I love that you're saying that. And I love that you brought up stocks and bonds, because most people, right? And I've learned this because Vinney, I've taken, I've really dedicated my life to speak on as many platforms as I can, right? Because the more platforms I speak on, the more people hear about this concept of fractional real estate investing and being able to invest in the private alternative world. A lot of people are just so, they only know the conventional way of investing, and that's through stocks and bonds and mutual funds, kind of what they're taught, right? And what I realized is, as I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds of investors in the last couple of years, I'd say not a lot of them knew about the private alternative space. So it's really exciting for me to have conversations about saying, hey, guess what? You can still invest your money in this kind of private alternative investment that's not so volatile, not so up and down, up and down. It's backed by a tangible asset, which is really powerful, and really just educating that there's this other way that you can have an alternative source of income coming to you and your family, which is just really exciting and powerful for a lot of people. Because what I noticed is, very little people know about these kind of private alternative investments. So it's fun for us to get the word out and to continue to kind of build it and plant seeds in people's minds and let them know that there's other ways out there.
So true, so true. And also retirement funds too, right? It's not just the savings, the dollar, which is, of course, they could buy REITs and other stuff, like in the Wall Street over here also, that's with Schwab and, Vanguards and Fidelity. But by doing self-directed retirement plans, is it very similar in Canada also, or how?
We do have it's called the RRSP, Retirement Savings Plan, Registered Retirement Savings Plan. So it's very similar to, and that's the cool thing about me being in Canada is I'm dealing with two different governing bodies and two different taxations and everything. So it led me to go on this really amazing educational journey as well. So I could educate my Canadian investors and then also be there to support my US investors, because it is different on both sides, similar, but things work a little bit different and what I noticed is there's not a lot of education for Canadian investors. There's a lot of education on the US side, and you yourself have written a couple books and everything, which is amazing. But that's what really, got me starting on my YouTube channel that I created, Canadian Passive Investing Academy, so that people can kind of learn about how it works. Because even though it all kind of works the same, sometimes when things are called different names, like for an example, the offering memorandum in the US is a deal presentation. Here it's a legal document. So what I noticed is people were trying to follow what was happening in the US, like solo 401ks or IRAs, and they were like, what is that here in Canada? Like, I'm confused. So it's really nice because I've kind of been educating the Canadian investors on what the different terminology means and how they can relate to the US side as they're going to be investing in the US.
I love it. I love it. That's so great to have a platform to educate. And, as you know, in syndication, there are so many moving parts. Even though I wrote the book, Syndication Made Easy, I need to write a book, Syndication Made Not Easy. Because there's so many moving parts. And I think by your having CPI Capital to be the money raising part, and then you are bringing all that money into syndication to meet with top syndicators who are doing well in USA with the track record and their game plans and business plans. It gives you freedom to help more people, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And that's another thing too, like being from Canada, seeing the opportunity that existed across borders. Strategically, we made relationships with really, really incredible operating partners who had the track record, who have actually done the full cycle on deals, who have very, very happy investors. So what was the best thing that I could do for my investors? Well, that was to partner with operating partners who have the infrastructure in place, right, to allow me to come on the GP side as well and bring my Canadian entity on. But also, what it's done for us here at CPI is it's created incredible deal flow where people, you make really good, strong relationships with people like yourself and others that I've partnered with, and then they're sending beautiful deal flow for my investors to kind of cherry pick the best deals. What do I want to partner with and bring the best deals to my investment partners? So that's another thing that we thought about, and we're like, there's so many incredible regions in the Sunbelt states. Well, we can't be everywhere, right? We don't have the infrastructure in place. So what's the next best thing? Let's partner with very strong, incredible operating partners. And then that way everybody wins, because it is a team sport, as you said. And when you partner, you can really, everybody can win. And it's just, there's so much success in each one of these deals for each investor and the GPs. It's just so exciting. So yeah, very good.
So it's a win-win-win-win. Actually, I would love to mention that I always feel investors are gold. Because we are vertically integrated, we manage all the assets also. So our teams, our professionals, right at all the communities we own, they are gold. Then of course the vendors are gold, because without the vendors, we wouldn't be able to get the job done, right? Contractors. And then of course our family of brokers and lenders and loan brokers and attorneys. It's a whole big thing, which is a huge big pie, and we are so thankful to every single one. Let me take you back. As you started with your first investor, what were some of the hiccups or fears that you came across and you had to overcome them? And how did you get into their psyche,
I love it. Yes. So I'm the head of investor relations, right? So I'm the person who's actually spoken to each and every, like I mentioned, hundreds of investors over the last, I don't even know how many at this point. But when we first started, right, because we're from Canada, the thing that really